Welcome to A Word of Hope. I'm Brother Edward. I live and work in Madison, Wisconsin, at our parish there. Today, the church celebrates the memorial of St. Peter Claver, a Jesuit who worked in Colombia in the 15th and 16th century. The gospel today is taken from this bigger sermon of Jesus in St. Luke's gospel we call the Sermon on the Plain, similar to the Sermon on the Mount that we found in St. Matthew's Gospel. In Luke's Gospel, Jesus is walking along a plain and instructing his disciples in what it means to be a true follower of his. Today, we find two things in the Gospel. The first is sort of an admonition. Jesus gives a proverb. He says, "The blind who lead the blind fall into a pit." And that admonition is directed toward the religious leadership of his time. The Pharisaic community has put a great deal of emphasis on external observance, washing our hands, washing dishes, eating or not eating certain foods, practicing certain rituals, which makes a person holy. And Jesus is bringing to the disciples another notion. He says that true faith comes from our heart, our interior self, and it flows into action. And those actions, as we live that dynamic of flowing out of our heart into action, not just any action, but virtuous actions, compassionate actions, loving actions, forgiving actions, our faith and our discipleship deepens using the image of a building's foundation. So as we live the faith, we deepen our faith as we go along. And today, St. Peter Claver is an excellent example of that. This young Jesuit is sent from Spain after his training to be a missionary in Cartagena in Colombia. And there he encounters the reality of African slavery that is going on. The slaves are being brought from West Africa to work in the plantations in Colombia and this very fertile valley leading into the port of Cartagena. Peter's heart is open to these people who are enslaved, and he does a lot to alleviate their suffering. He is, if you will, a humanitarian disciple of Jesus. But he also tries to influence the plantation owners, the owners of the slaves, to treat them in a more human way. This is a time when in the world people are beginning to question the institution of slavery, so they are beginning to challenge the system itself. Peter is not successful in abolishing slavery in Colombia, but he is remembered because he is a protector and a promoter of compassion to those who are enslaved. Today, let us take his example and find ways that we can affirm the humanity of others and show compassion to them.